Hey guys. Hey. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. What's up? What's up, TikTok fam? What's up, Instagram? I wasn't here last week. I came on last week, but I only did like a live Q&A because I didn't have my topic together. So, but I am here and we're going to get into it. Hey, for the Bible book, we can buy any of the Bible tabs. Yeah, you can. T. Smith 1611. Thank you so much. Yeah, you can buy any Bible tabs. My Bible tabs, where did I get them from? I think Barnes and Noble, but you can do it off of Amazon as well. What's up, TikTok? So I'm here. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Hope everybody's doing fantastic, phenomenal, and amazing. T-Rex a month. Yes, I did work in the school system. All right, so I'm going to try my hardest not to be here long tonight. I'm going to try. I always say that. I say that every single week, and I end up being longer than I plan to. So, but we're going to get into it tonight because I am super excited about tonight's topic. I'm super excited to give you guys some wisdom. I'm super excited to just pour into you. I'm just excited. I'm excited. Glory Girl 75. I got them from Barnes and Noble. I got my Bible tabs from Barnes and Noble. Just Tiana. You're welcome. The Bible, I love my Bible. Like it is so TikTok, Instagram, they're talking about my Bible. I have a life application study Bible. It's hands down, to me, the best Bible ever. I used to not read the Bible because I didn't understand it. I was lost. I would get into it like, what am I reading? And would literally be like, and so someone bought me a life application study Bible years ago. This was years, at least 15 years ago or so. And I liked it so much that I have just stuck with that same Bible. This is not the one that I had from 15 years ago because that one was like completely torn. It was like all over the place. I actually still have it. I don't know where it is, but I have it. But anyway, that's what they're asking on Instagram, TikTok, about my Bible. So if you're interested, this is the Bible. I need to put the link on my TikTok page, but it is on my Instagram page. It's in my bio. So if you want this exact same Bible, it's so good. It's a life application study Bible. So it breaks down like the verses at the bottom. It breaks things down for you. It's not a good view on TikTok, but it breaks it down. Then in the back, anything you're going through, like if, you want to, tonight we're talking about idols and idol worship. So if you want to look up idols, it's in the back. TikTok, this is a horrible view. Sorry, guys. The light is on it. But let me see. Hold on, Instagram. Yeah, so like it's like that. But you can go and see. So you can look it up. Anything you're dealing with, whether it could be idol worship, it could be forgiveness, it could be, promises of God, like whatever you experiencing, whatever it is that you expecting God for, or going through sadness, whatever. Look it up in the back, and it's just, I love my Bible, love it. So anyway, I wanted to, hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read. I can't pronounce your Instagram handle, but she said he or she have a question. So my pastor was just talking about how we worship idols daily, not specifically people, but like things that we do in the daily life. How do I get rid of them? I'm glad you asked. I'm about to talk about all of that. I'm so glad you asked. How do you get rid of them? How do you even know when you idolize them? I got it. I got you, girl. I got you. I don't know if you're a girl or a guy, so my bad if you're a guy, but I got you, right? So TikTok, share the video out. Make sure you tag a person, a friend, or whomever may need to see it. I'm not on TikTok much, so I'm really need to be way more consistent. So I'm building my audience. I have an audience. I just need to build my lives. Instagram, tag a friend, share the video out. You know it, right? But yeah, so I'm gonna try not to be here long tonight, y'all. I promise. Y'all, please. Okay, Scolaville. I can't pronounce your name, so I'm sorry. I'm glad you told me you're a girl, so now I can say girl. But yeah, I'm gonna try not to be here long, so y'all kind of help me, please. Okay, help me stay in line. All right, but let's get into it. Because I just really want to talk about this. God put this on my spirit to talk about it, and he would not let me get away from it. So I had a completely different topic for us to talk about tonight, and God said, nope, we're going to talk about this, right? So, idol worship. So the other day I put up a post, and I said, some of y'all love Beyonce more than you love God, and you wonder why he not answering your prayers. Just Tiana, no, I go live every Wednesday at 6:30 Central Standard Time, right? So anyway, I put up a post the other day, and it said, some of you love Beyonce more than you love God, and you wonder why he not answering your prayers. And I got, a boatload of people that were big mad. You hear me? Big mad. And there were several individuals that was like, yep, you're right. And I don't post. I'm not posting for a show. I'm not posting for approval. I'm not posting for, any validation or any of that, right? But the people that got mad, it was like, why are you mad? What are you mad because I actually called you out on your idol worship, or because I'm talking about Beyonce? Like, which one was it? Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. It was a true post, and all I was saying in the caption was, you may know the words to her songs. I didn't say her, but I said you know the words to songs, but you can't even recite some scripture from the Bible. You may know you pay hard-earned money for a concert, but you don't want to give your tithes. Right? And I broke down things like that, and people got mad. And like I said, that was nothing but a spirit, of course, but they got big mad because either I called them out on their idol worship or I talked about their idol. Either way, it was a true post, right? And God put it on my spirit to talk about idol worship because it was so much pushback. And whoever or whatever your Beyonce is, whatever it is, put that name or thing in the post that I said. Some of you love that thing or that person more than you love God. And then you wonder why God is not answering your prayers. So the Beyonce, you don't have to put Beyonce. I'm not even a fan of Beyonce. Never have been, honestly. I never understood the hype, but I ain't making this about her. But so because I actually had people respond like, you know what? I'm not even a big fan of Beyonce, but I really sat and thought about what you said in this post and what you said in the comments, and I had to check myself because I do idolize this. I idolize money. I idolize my friendships. I idolize my relationships. I idolize my marriage. I idolize this. Like, they really was like, I need to think about it because I do idolize things myself, and it really puts some people in perspective, right? And at the end of the day, we're all guilty. TikTok, Instagram, and anybody else. You can't nobody say that you have not had been guilty of idolizing something or someone in your life at some point in time. And you're probably doing it now. You're probably doing it now. This is not a knock. I'm not coming for you, so don't come for me, because I really don't want to hear it and I really don't care. All I'm saying is we are all guilty of it. Even me. Every single day, literally, y'all, every night and day, every morning and every night, I have to ask God, I have to repent and ask God to help me, to forgive me for any idol worship that I did today. Because I'm almost 100% positive that I idolized something throughout my day today. If it was social media, if it was money, if it was my problems, if it was anything. It could have been food, whatever. I'm almost positive I put something before him. So every day I'm asking God for forgiveness. I'm repenting for idol worship because I'm guilty. I am guilty. And I know you are too. I know you are. And that's why God put it on my spirit for me to talk about idol worship tonight, right? And part of the reason why people may not think that they're practicing idol worship or practicing idol, serving idols is what I'm trying to say, is because you may not know what adultery is. You may not know what the true definition of adultery is, right? And you may think, because from biblical times, it says, the golden statue or, the wooden carving or whatever, right? But really today, we don't have the golden statues or the wooden carvings. I mean, you may in some religions or whatever, but really today, we have our cell phones. We have our computers. We have our relationships. We have celebrities. We have whomever, whatever, that we tend to put on this pedestal before God, right? And so we think just because it's not a golden calf or a wooden whatever, that it's not an idol. You think just because it's not what used to be in the Bible or what's in the Bible that you're not idolizing something. I remember I told my mom and my sisters, I was like, you all have a lot of idol worship. Like it's a lot of idolatry in this family. And they're like, I don't idolize. I'm like, you do, and it's, again, I'm not knocking you. Because they wanted to know specifically, like, why do I say that? And I'm like, because I've been telling them, like, God says, repent for your idol worship. And they're like, I don't idolize. And I'm like, yeah, you do. I'm like, you put, everything before God. And again, I'm not knocking them because I get it 1,000%. But I want you, like, let's break down. But anyway, they got, mad because I called them out. Whatever. I don't care. But anyway, let's break down exactly what adultery is so that you know. And then I want you also to know that I ain't coming for you, right? But an idol is anything that's more important to you than God. Anything that's more important to you than God. Anything that absorbs your heart. Anything that absorbs your imagination. Anything and everything that you seek to give more of your attention, time, and energy to more than God. Anything. Right? Anything, or in layman terms, anything or anyone that you put before God is an idol to you. Anything or anyone. If it occupies the space in your life that only God should occupy, that is your idol. And idol can be food. It can be relationships. It can be money. It can be people. It can be friendships. It can be your significant other. It can be your kids. It can be the promises that God has given you. It can be celebrities, social media, TV, phone, your job, your status. Any of that, you can actually start to idolize. Basically, anything in the world can be an idol. Anything in the world can be more important to you than God. So when I put the post up the other day and people got mad, I really wonder, was it because I spoke on them idolizing Beyonce? Or was it because I spoke on the fact that they were idolizing, period? So I wonder the same now. Like, are you offended because I'm saying that you idolize different things? Or is it offending you, or you convicted in your spirit because you realize that you do idolize things? I hope I said that right. And again, I'm guilty. I am guilty 100%. I used to put everything and everyone before God. Everything and everyone before God. And I didn't think too much about it because at this point, I was living my best life, or so I thought. I was, doing me. I didn't have the relationship with God that I have now. I wasn't even trying to build one. I wasn't trying to walk the straight and narrow path. I wasn't trying to go that right. I was not trying to go that way. Not at that time. And I put everything before God. Everything. It could have been my boyfriends, my friends, my career, my business, my money. Like everything came before God. I always used to worry about money. I always used to worry about money. And looking back, worry is a form of, you're idolizing your problem, right? And I always used to worry about money because I ain't never have none. I ain't never have none. So I was constantly thinking about how bills were going to get paid. How was I going to do X, Y, and Z? How was, I was going to pay Peter to pay Paul, rob Peter to pay Paul. Like, money was just my idol. It was my idol. And sometimes, and even relationships were my idol as well. I would put the guys that came into my life before God. My thing was, how they say, I always have this thing. It's like, you should be spiritually sound, emotionally, physically, what's the other one? Financially, sexually, whatever. Like, we attract on those levels, right? And spiritually was always the last thing for me. Always. For me, it was always physical first. We had to be, on the same page physically. We had to be attracted to each other physically first. Then it was like sexually. And then it became mentally, like, can you stimulate my mind, And then it was, I'm trying to actually remember the order that I would put them in. Mentally, I forget. But anyway, spiritually was last. Like, I'm like, you can stimulate me spiritually last. I ain't care about that. I ain't care about it at all. At all. Because they were my idol. I wanted to please them more than I wanted to please God. But they literally would be my idol. Right? And I would pray minimally. Like, I didn't care. I didn't spend much time with God. Because, again, if I was like, my thing was, I want to get this money. And I want a man beside me. Period. So I wasn't spending a lot of time with God because God wasn't doing all of that. And lo and behold, he does all of that. But at the time, I'm so dumb and stupid that I was like, nope, God ain't trying to give me no money right now, and God ain't giving me no man right now. So he come last. And that, Looking back, I'm like, girl, you was a fool, a straight fool. But I always made sure that was first. It was first in my life. God was never a priority at that time. And I didn't care. I legit didn't care. And I'm actually telling y'all this because I want you to know, like, even the Samantha you see today, I used to practice adultery strong. And again, I still do sometimes. I put everything before God, right? And like I said, when I posted that post the other day, somebody actually called me and was like, girl, like, that post hit home for me. Because even though I ain't a fan of Beyonce, but I realize how I am idolizing money. I'm idolizing every day. I'm thinking about money. Every day I'm thinking about how this bill gonna get paid. How am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do that? She said from the moment she wake up to the moment she go to bed, she was thinking about money and not putting God in his proper place because her mind was so absorbed with money and how she was going to make it happen. So it wasn't about Beyonce for her, but it hit home because she realized that she was putting money above God. She was thinking about money more than she was God. She was thinking about her problems more than she was God. And who on here can say that you do the same thing? Has anything that I've said been familiar to you? Are you guilty of doing the same thing? Absolutely, people idolize themselves. People idolize themselves all the time. But who on here can say they do the same thing? It may not be Beyonce for you. It may not be money for you. But do you idolize marriage? Got a lot of women who want to be married. Is that your every thought? Do you think about marriage all the time? Listen, ain't no shame. Ain't no shame. Like, bring it to the forefront. What is the idol in your life? What comes before God? Who comes before God in your life? The Bible says in Exodus chapter 34:14, God is against idol worship. And this is all I was trying to say on my post. God don't like idols. It says in Exodus 34:14 that God is a jealous God. He wants all of your heart. He wants all of your heart. He wants to come first in your life. And he's jealous. He don't like when you give yourself away to somebody else more than him. He don't like it. God is a jealous God. He's faithful to us, and he wants us to be faithful to him. Because adultery is really like committing, adultery is really like committing adultery against God. It's like you're cheating on God. Because you are idolizing something more than him. You're giving more of that, your attention, than you are God. So it's really like you're cheating on God. And so God, in the Bible, it speaks about adultery a lot. A lot. That's how much God is against it. I felt dizzy. That's how much God is against idol worship. Because it speaks about it so much and how the consequences of you practicing idol worship. It speaks about it so much because it's wrong. God doesn't want us to put anything or anyone before him. The Bible also says, seek ye the kingdom of God first. first before everything, and everything else will be added unto you. Seek God first. He talks a lot about keep my commands. I've been in, Deuteronomy, going into the promised land, reading that section. But he talks about how the Israelites were in the wilderness, and they were idolizing their problems. They put their problems first. They complained and they griped, and they ended up standing in the wilderness forever, for years, because they complained and they had idol worship. Moses went up on the mountain to talk to God, and he comes down. He was up there for a while, but here he come down. He leading the Israelites out of Egypt, out of hell. He come down and they done built a whole idol. Because they thought Moses was gone. They thought that Moses was taking too long. We do the same thing. We sit up, we think God taking too long. So we go and put something before him. We think God is, or somebody else is our idol or is our God. So we create this world around them, so to speak. But anyway, that's not the scripture I was going to come from. I just happened to, the Holy Spirit must have dropped that on me, because that wasn't even about it, right? But we're going to go into Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 44, verses 9 through 20. And I won't read all of them. Let me find it, y'all. Hold on one moment. Isaiah chapter 44. Chapter 44, verses 9 through 20. And so this is where Isaiah is talking to the Israelites about their worship of man-made gods, right? He's talking to them about their worship of man-made gods. And he makes comments like, he's like, all who make idols are nothing. And the things that they treasure are worthless. And the things that they treasure are worthless. Those who would speak up for them are blind. Right? And it goes on to say, who shapes a god and casts an idol, which can profit nothing? He said the blacksmith takes a tool and works it with the coals. He shapes this idol with a hammer. So somebody created it, is what he's saying. The blacksmith created it, and he shaped this thing that you're going to go out and serve. You're going to go out and idolize. You're going to go and worship this rock. And I said rock on purpose. You're going to worship these crystals that people worship. You're going to worship something that somebody created that can't even talk to you, can't answer you, can't do nothing for you, but you're going to worship it and put it before me. He said the blacksmith takes a tool and works it with the coals. He shapes an idol with hammers. That's verse 12. Then the carpenter measures with a line and makes an outline with a marker. He shapes it in human form. He basically saying, right, you got somebody that's creating these things. You got the blacksmith creating something, and he's creating an idol with his hammer. He's creating a form with his hammer. And then the carpenter comes in and he shapes it. He puts a shape to it, right? And he's saying half of this stuff is wood. It's an idol. Like you can't even, you ain't getting no answers or nothing. Right? Gods that won't answer you when you speak. Gods that are made from wood. Gods that are made from stone. Gods that are not God. He said, but he also fashions a god. He also makes the idol in the image of a god. Some kind of god, whatever god this was. And he fashions a god and worships it. He makes an idol and bows down to it. But you take the same wood that you created a god with, and then you go burn a fire. You start a fire with it. But this is your God that you serve, right? The same wood. Basically, in a nutshell, in that Isaiah is just telling the Israelites, listen, you serving these gods that's not going to do anything for you. You're serving the wood. You're serving this stone. You're serving things and people that are not going to be able to answer when you call. They're not going to be able to answer your prayers. They can't even hear you. That's what he's saying in Isaiah chapter 44, in those verses. Then you go over to 1 Kings chapter 18. 1 Kings chapter 18. 1 Kings chapter 18, verses 25 through 27. This is Elijah, and Elijah is telling the people they serving Baal, who's their God, this created God that they have put up an altar for, and he's telling them, like, your God ain't gonna come through. Your God can't even answer you. And they believe so strongly in their God that they believe their God, this created God, was going to answer them. And Elijah actually mocked them. He told them, listen, okay, if your God gonna answer you, because it hadn't rained for like 3 years. And he said, listen, you believe in your God so much, let's put him to the test. Let's put this idol, this God, this wood, this stone, whatever it is, let's put it to the test. Since you believe in this God so much, let's put it to the test. It hadn't rained, put it down. Let's go get a, what is it called? I forget the animal that they did. Let me see, hold on, y'all. A bull, thank you. So he said, go get a bull and we're going to cut it up. We're going to cut it up, and your God, the God of Baal that you serving, that you believe is God, we're going to let him put a fire to it. Let him put a fire to it. So they out there praying and praying and praying, you know, God answer, because they wanted to prove him wrong. Like, yes, this is our God, and this God answers. And he eventually just started mocking them, like, where's your God? Like, why he answered after hours. They out there praying and like, God, they doing all this stuff, chanting and stuff to God, the God that they created, and he answered. And Elijah said, listen, well, I'm going to show you the true God. I'm going to show you this true God, because the God I serve, he's going to answer. And he's going to answer by fire. He said, God, answer by fire. Show them who you are. Show them that you are God and God alone. You have no equal. No one can compare. God answered by fire, and he lit the sacrifice on fire. But I'm telling y'all those stories to show you how serving other gods, putting things and people before God, will get you nowhere. You get no answers. You get no, your prayers aren't answered. You get no spiritual insight, no growth. And we go out and we serve these crystals. We serve these, I don't know, because I don't do all that stuff. But you listen to these people that so-called speak life over you. You idolize them because they can claim to tell you your future. I remember my daughter, it's kind of off topic, but she had done a tarot reading. And I told her, girl, don't do that. You know, that's the devil. You inviting that witchcraft into your life. But she was so adamant to continue to do it. She was so like, but they was able to tell me this, mommy. They was able to tell me that. And I'm like, but that don't sound right. But she stayed in that space for a little while because she had literally put them on this pedestal and thought that they were more important. What they were saying was more important than God. She had literally put them on a pedestal. The people in the Bible had put ball on a pedestal, a God that they created. Not the God that created them, but the God that they created. And they expected answers. And we sit here and we put these celebrities on pedestals more than we do God. We put our relationships on pedestals more than we do God. We put our problems on pedestals more than we do God. I remember when God revealed to me, because I was seeking him for like guidance and direction, and he revealed to me that me seeking his guidance and direction, I had started to idolize his guidance and direction. And it sounds so weird, but the reality is I was seeking the guidance and direction more than I was seeking God. And it really made me put some stuff into perspective. Because I was like, wow, like, well, God, I mean, I'm asking you for answers. I'm asking you, and I know I've done it several times. I know that I have put God's promises, the things that he has spoken over my life before him, where I get so caught up in the promise that I lose focus of the promise maker, the promise provider. I get so caught up in the promise. And every time God has had to back me up and say, sit down somewhere. Sit down. You will never get what you're looking for. You ain't gonna never get it if you don't keep me first in proper perspective. He said, keep my commands. Keep me first in everything. You want your promises from God? You want your prayers to be answered in the way you want them answered? I ain't gonna say he's gonna answer them like that all the time. However, he gives you commandments. He said, keep my commands. Keep my commands. Keep me first. Don't let nothing or no one, don't idolize nothing before me. I'm talking about even family, your kids, friends. Nobody should come before God. It ain't no different in today's world with us idolizing stuff. Ain't no different. I'm going to ask you again, who and what that you thinking of right now that you know, who and what are you idolizing in your life? Who and what has taken place of God in your life today? And don't lie to yourself. Who and what have you put before God in your life today? Because adultery is so serious, and God is so against it, I really want to help us come out of it. Us. Because guilty. When you idolize something or someone, you have consequences. You have consequences of idol worship. It's not that you're going to be able to do it and you think God is not going to get you, so to speak. I don't want to say get you but you're going to have consequences for being disobedient. You can't just keep living life the way you think is okay and you don't think that God gonna make sure you know that it ain't okay. So consequences of adultery. When you put anything and everything before God, you're actually dethroning God. You're minimizing God in your life. You're minimizing him in your heart. You say he's the center of your life, the center of your heart, but yet you're not putting him in his place. Because you're putting something else before him, something or someone. There is no equal. So you can't put him on the level of a thing or a person. And that's the thing. We sit up and try to put God into this box that we've created. We want him on the level, our level. We want him on our level because we want to put him on a certain level so he can be with us instead of above us. Look at him as above you. You will continue to look up to him. You will continue to idolize him, worship him, versus trying to put him on your level as if you equal with God. God has no equal. But how, yeah, hold on. Okay. I hope it's connected. All right, perfect. But how does adultery affect you? How does adultery affect you? When you put something else in the place, something or someone in the place of God, you lose capacity to hear God clearly. You can lose sight of what God is trying to tell you to do. So not only are you not hearing him clearly, but you're not seeing the visions that he has for your life. Because you're losing that ability because you've put something and someone else before God. So you actually shrinking your soul. You're shrinking your soul. You're not growing at all. You're shrinking your soul. So let me ask you, what exactly are you living for today? What are you living for today? Is it your career? Is it success? Is it approval? Validation? Pleasure? Relationships? What are you living for today? Any of that money? Anything you put before God and you start seeking it more than God, you're literally causing your soul to shrink. Your soul is your mind, will, and emotions. And you're not feeling it with God, you're feeling it with the world. So you're literally causing your spiritual your heart to shrink, your soul to shrink. Idol worship today is actually an obstacle to genuine happiness. Because you're so focused on making somebody else happy or doing something that don't really make you happy. Right? You doing things because you're busy trying to please somebody else, or please doing you holding on to something, you chasing stuff. Thank you, Holy Spirit. You chasing things that ain't really gonna make you happy. So when you put idols before God, you put other things and people before God, it actually diminishes your true happiness. And somebody may be in a relationship right now and they're like, oh, I love my relationship, I'm in my relationship. But if you put it before God, and God is love, I already did a video on that, and God is love, then how is that person leading you? You've put them before God. How are you really happy in that? Because God is love, happiness, joy, peace. But you putting this person and thing before him, how are you really, really happy in that? Maybe because you don't know what it's like to put God first. So you're minimizing your happiness, right? It says in the Bible, Hosea, I don't want to tell y'all wrong. Hold on, let me find it. Hosea chapter 2. Chapter 2, verse 15. It says, that's not the verse that I was looking for. Sorry, y'all. I got it written down. I don't know why, and I didn't tie it to the message, so I apologize. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, I'm looking for another verse. What I'm trying to say is that adultery is seen as an act of adultery. It's seen as an act of prostitution. It means that in the eyes of the Lord, it's infidelity. You're literally cheating on him. So if you never thought of it that way, there you go. Now, I'm really trying to find this verse. Okay, here it is. You may look at it differently. Jeremiah 2 and 20. Let's see what it says. Well, that's the verse, but I will not serve you indeed on every high hill and under every spreading tree lay down as a prostitute. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. So that's what it's basically saying in a nutshell, right? That God looks at adultery as a sign of infidelity, that you're cheating on him. And so if you're okay with idolizing other things and people, I want you to start looking at it that way. I want you to start looking at it from the vantage point of, man, I'm cheating on God. I'm really building a relationship with something and someone else more than I am with him. Am I really happy in this? Because remember, the more you idolize something and someone, it diminishes your soul. It diminishes your happiness. It takes away from you. The more you put something and someone before God. Adultery actually takes you away from God. It doesn't help you grow in God. And if your goal is to strengthen your relationship with God, you can't keep putting things and people before him. Adultery is not of God. Anything that takes you away from God is not God. So adultery misguides you. It leads you in the wrong direction. And it takes you away from God. People that idolize, you're misguided because you refuse to go the way that God wants you to go. You're led away from God. So guess where you end up going? Into the darkness. You end up going where the devil wants you to go. Because you're being led away from God. Because you're worshiping something and someone more than you are God. And who wouldn't, if you had somebody, a force coming against you, you got darkness coming against you, why wouldn't the devil want to take you away from the light? Why do you think the devil will want you to continue to follow and idolize God when I could put this shiny object in his face, and make them want that more than they do God? It look good, it smell good, but is it God? I've done that with jobs. Like, you get to a point where you want to leave a job so bad, right? You become desperate, so to speak, to leave a job or whatever. I just using it as an example for me. That you end up walking away from what you have for something else that look good. It's the carrot dangling in your face. It's something else that look good, but it ain't God. But it's better than what you had. And then you end up, because of the title, because of the money that comes along with it, the promotion that came along with it, you end up putting it before God. I've done it. I'm guilty. Oh, I'm this now. I'm that now. I make this much now. Became my idol. Jobs became my idol because I was looking for a job to give me worth. So it became my idol. I found my worth in money. I found my worth in relationships. I found my worth in a title. So it became my idol. Took me away from God. Right? Adultery will take you away from God. It's going to make you unhappy, and it holds you captive. It gets into your mind. The devil's first place of attack is always your mind. Always. If he can get into your mind, he is going to plant us. All it takes is a small opening, and he will plant the smallest seed of, yep, let me serve this. All it takes. It look good. It's shining in my face. Oh my gosh, this gotta be from you, God. But something inside of you tell you that ain't God, and you know it's not. Stop letting people make you think your discernment off. Stop ignoring your discernment. God gave it to you for a reason. But the devil dangle it in your face, and here you go. God said, keep my eyes on him. But dang, that look good. God said, keep my eyes on him. But dang, that look good. Next thing you know, you're away from God. You're away from God because you want the money. You want the success. You want that relationship. God was taking too long. He was taking too long. So you went away from God to get what you wanted. You went away from God to get what you wanted. And then you start putting it first. Because you wanted that relationship, right, ladies? You wanted to get married, right? This gotta be my husband, so I'm gonna put him first. I ain't thinking about God no more because I got my husband now. I got the job I wanted. It's my dream job. I'm making all this money. I ain't thinking about God no more because I got money now. Come on, man. Adultery. It makes God little. You're cheating on God for money. Break it down like that. Come on, Holy Spirit. You cheating on God for another man or woman that you think is equal to him. You cheating on God for success. You cheating on God for opportunities. Because it look good, it's opportunity, but it ain't God. You cheating on God. You making God small so that you can continue to chase money. So that you can continue to have this man or woman in your life that you put before God anyway, that God never told you to be with anyway. You rather cheat on God. Come on. Woo, child. I'm sorry, y'all. This stuff, I just love it. I love God. I do. And I just love talking about him. But anyway, another way we talk about idolatry, how it affects you, right? It is an obstacle to your salvation. When you idolize something, you're worshiping the devil. Satan gets the glory when you idolize. When you put something before God, Satan gets the glory. So you're taking away from you. It's an obstacle from your soul being saved. It becomes an obstacle. It's a distraction from you walking more in God. Idols are false. They're false gods. There is no other way around it. It's a false god. When you put other things and other people first in your life, you minimize God. Period. It's no easy way for me to say that. I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings, but it is what it is. You minimize God. You give something to someone else priority in your life, and they take priority in your heart. They or it takes priority in your heart. And God He wants your heart. So if you're giving somebody something else, your heart, where God at? Where God at? God is not, he's not a created image. He's not a statue. He's not this golden calf. You can't even put him on the level of a person or a thing. And you do that. And you think that's okay. That's not okay, because God, there is no equal. There is no equal to God. Period. So, how can you enjoy things? Because it's hard to have stuff in your life that you want. You want to go after, I get it, right? You want to go after the job or the success, the career, the money, whatever. I get it. And I'm not saying don't. I'm not saying it's a problem, because it's okay that you have those desires. It's okay to, let me be mindful of what I say. It's okay if you choose to follow certain celebrities and listen to certain music, whatever. I ain't gonna say listening to certain music, because you need to be mindful of what you're allowing into your ear gates anyway. But it's okay if you want to follow these celebrities and do stuff like that. It's okay. But where it becomes a problem is when you start to put that before God. When you start to chase after that dream that God gave you more than you chasing after God. It becomes a problem. When you start to chase after that job more than you chasing God, that's when it's a problem. You start to put this celebrity on this pedestal more than you put God on the throne, that's when it's a problem. So I'm not saying that you can't. You just got to know how to, it ain't even balanced. You just got to keep God in his place and keep everything else underneath him. So how can you enjoy things and not make them your idol. First, you need to identify who and what that you're idolizing. That's why I've asked you guys multiple times, who and what is in your life right now as I'm speaking that you put before God? You need to identify it. You need to own it. And don't be afraid. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. I just posted that in my story today, Instagram. Are you lying to yourself about anything? Stop lying to yourself. God know. You know. Stop playing. Stop playing with your soul. We talking about your soul at this point. We ain't just talking about, oh, life, it's okay. Da-da. I can keep doing this. I can keep being disobedient. I can keep, playing with God. I can keep idolizing everything and everyone, putting everything before him. It's okay. My soul ain't going to hell. You talking about your soul. That you're literally okay with going to hell. Literally. Because you don't care enough about the things and the people that you put before God. You want to lie to yourself instead of admitting that you idolizing stuff and things and people. So first, in order to know, how can you enjoy things and not idolize them? First of all, identify what and who that you are idolizing. I got a few questions I can ask y'all, right? Write them down so you can know if anything or anyone falls into the idol category in your life. What do you feel like you have to do or have to have in order to be happy? What do you think about in the middle of the night when you first wake up in the morning? What's your very first thought? What do you do first thing in the morning? What do you spend a lot of your time on each day? Where are your thoughts every day? What is it that you worry about? What problems come before God in your life? What is it that you worry about? What would you have a hard time giving up for a month? These are some good questions. These are like life-changing questions, literally. I hope you write them down. What would you have a hard time giving up for a month? What do you do when you're stressed out and or depressed? What's your go-to? You smoke weed? You drink? That's your outlet? Because it calms you down? You got to have a blunt? That used to be me. That's why I can say it. Because that was me. I smoked so much weed. I used to smoke all the time. And that was it. Like, when I was stressed, worried, going through life, problems, I smoked because I thought it calmed me down. When really the reality is, after my high came down, I still had issues, I still had problems, whatever. But that was my go-to. Marijuana was my idol. Then I started drinking. Those were my idols because that's how I dealt with my problems. That's how I dealt with my mess. Because I didn't want to deal with it, so I put that first in my life because I felt like it was helping me better than I was helping myself. Right? So what do you do when you stressed out and you depressed? Where do your feelings of self-worth come from? Person, people, things, a job, money, opportunity, success? Where do your feelings of self-worth come from? What do you do? What do you escape to when you're having a hard time? What do people tell you that you spend too much time on? What do you know? Maybe somebody didn't tell you, but what do you know that you spend entirely too much time on? Social media, maybe? What is it that you could not live without? Those are like a few questions to see if you are idolizing anything. To see who and what it is that you're idolizing. Be honest about it. Be honest about it, because that's the first thing. You want to enjoy life. You want to still enjoy things without making it an idol. So the first thing is to be honest with yourself and identify what it is that you're idolizing. Then you need to acknowledge it. On my page, I like to hold accountability. Hold yourself accountable. Stop pointing the finger. Stop placing the blame. Stop playing the victim. It's you. Period. It's you. So acknowledge that you actually idolize something or someone, that you put something or someone before God. Acknowledge it. It's okay. When you start to own your stuff, is when you start to grow and become a better person. Acknowledge it. God, I've put my business before God. I have put money before God. I have put relationships before God. I have, you name it. So if you feel like you're embarrassed, you don't want to say, God, well, I put this before you. Listen, first of all, he already knows. Second of all, you know. Third of all, you need to admit it and acknowledge it. Fourth of all, I'm telling my truth. I've been where you at, and I still put some stuff before God sometimes. Sometimes I log into social media. I don't try to be on there much, but I'll get to scrolling. I might, sometimes I like a few posts and I get off. Other times, next thing you know, I don't realize I done scrolled down a whole page. So I'm guilty too, y'all. But I'm okay with acknowledging it. I'm okay with saying, God, listen, yep, I put that before you today. Forgive me. I did. Guilty. But acknowledge it, right? Admit that you have an idol. It's okay. You're human. You ain't perfect today, and you won't ever be tomorrow either. You're human. God know you idolize stuff, so just acknowledge it. Sometimes we can get so consumed and caught up with things and people that we don't realize that we've put God on the back burner. But when you start bringing things to the forefront, you start acknowledging it, it's like you're making a confession. You're surrendering it back to God. God, I'm guilty, but I need you to help me let this idol go. I made a mistake, God. I put it before you, but I want to put you back first in my life. And I told you, like, I have been guilty of putting God's promises before God. Putting what God has promised me before him. Like, real guilty. So consumed with what God promised me and so focused on what I needed to do to make the promises come forth that I completely forgot about God. I ain't forget about him, but I would go to him after I'm like, oh my God, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this, I got to do that. Then I would be like, hey God, it's me again. After that, I've put God's promises before God. And I've also put my desire for money before God. But I'm okay with admitting that. And I want you to be the same. Acknowledge it. Then I want you to get to the root. Because you can't get rid of it if you don't get to the root. So we done with that surface level mess. Everybody want to stay on the surface. Nope, dig deeper. Dig deeper. Get down into what's really going on. Why am I idolizing this relationship? Is it because I'm lonely? Okay, let me get to the root of why I'm lonely. Why do I feel like I got to have a husband or a man or whatever? Get to the root so you can be fruitful. Stop digging on the surface and allowing the surface to be okay. That's not okay. It's not okay. Get to the root of why you are idolizing certain things and people. And it may hurt because you owning your stuff. But get to the root and then put God back in his rightful place. Put God back where he belongs in your life. It could be, why you idolize certain things or, people's opinion or validation or whatever. Is it because that you don't believe that God is enough in certain areas of your life? And he can't satisfy you in certain areas and things and places in your life? Is that why you idolize it? Get to it, man. Listen. Stop playing with your soul. It ain't no joke. Thank y'all for the badges. I appreciate you. But this ain't no joke. Stop playing with your soul. Get to the root. Right? We talking about how you can still enjoy stuff in life, people, whatever, relationships, whatever, without making it an idol. Right? I used to idolize marriage. I wanted to be married, and I still do. Don't get me wrong, but I don't idolize it now. But I still want to be married. But I used to idolize marriage. I used to think about marriage all the time. It was like my conversation. Like, oh my God, my husband this, my husband that. No ring in sight. But, and I put it first. What are you putting before God? Acknowledge it, baby. Acknowledge it. Get to the root. And then I want you to fill your mind with heavenly things. So you bring it, you dug it up. And now you got to replace it with heavenly things. Replace it with heavenly things. You tearing it out. Anytime you remove something, you're going to have to replace it. So you're tearing away, you're tearing yourself away from these idols. That means you got to replace it. Remember, idolatry takes you away from God. Idolatry takes you away from God. So if you're taking something out of your life that's taking you away from God, what do you think you need to replace it with? God. Replace it with things of God. So that you won't have a desire to continue to idolize something more than God. Start putting God first. Fill your mind up with things of God. Learn how to take your thoughts captive. The Bible says, if somebody can look it up, I know it says, take your thoughts captive. Somebody look that up. Take your thoughts captive in the Bible. If I can tell y'all the verse. But learn how to take your thoughts captive. When you start thinking about something other than God, or you start putting things and people before God, nope, God, bring me back. Bring me back to your word. Bring me back to your promises. Bring me back to you. I'm putting something first. I'm putting it before you. Help me take these thoughts that I'm thinking about doing things that I shouldn't be doing. I'm thinking about being with somebody else. I'm thinking about putting them first. Help me take my thoughts captive and bring them back to you. Help me focus on you. I'm trying to find the verse, but it says take your thoughts captive. I forget exactly. I know it says that part, but I wish somebody would look it up and post it for me. But thoughts. Might be. Anyway, so if y'all find it, let me know, because I'm not gonna. I can look for it, but I'm not. But when you start thinking of that idol, you start thinking of that person, those things, it's your responsibility. It's your responsibility to set your mind on the things of God. Ain't nobody gonna do it for you. Ain't nobody gonna save you. You gotta save yourself. You gotta want your soul to go to heaven more than anybody else. Because if you don't want to go to heaven, you okay with going to hell. I guarantee you, people around you okay with you going to hell too, because they probably okay with going to hell too. You got to start doing it for yourself. Take responsibility. The devil attacks your mind first. That's always his first place of contact. First place of attack is your mind. Learn to start taking your thoughts captive. Make them obedient to God. Whatever fills your mind the most is your idol. And if it ain't God, it ain't God. Don't miss that. Whatever fills your mind the most is your idol. So if you want God to be first in your life and put him in his rightful place, then you got to practice getting into his presence. You got to practice getting into his word. You got to practice spending time with him throughout the day. Filling your mind up with heavenly things. Okay? All right. Then next, hold on. I lost my point. So practice, what did I say? Heavenly things. Sorry, y'all. Fill your mind up with heavenly things. Take your thoughts captive. Take your thoughts captive and fill your mind up with heavenly things. Sometimes you got idols in your life because you don't make room for God. You make room for everything else except for God. So naturally, what's consuming your life? Everything that ain't God. And naturally, you looking at it as an idol. You worshiping it. But get to the root of why you worshiping that thing more than you worshiping God. Start to seek the things of God, right? So I said that one. So next, you need to put God in his rightful place. God has no equal. He's not on your level. He's not on our level. We don't see eye to eye. God is God. King of kings, Lord of lords, God of gods. He's above everything and everyone. Put him in his rightful place. Stop trying to make him be on your level. He's not, and he won't ever be on our level. Put him in his rightful place. Idols will not satisfy your soul, but God will. You will always, when you're chasing idols, you will always end up empty. Every single time. But when you put your hope and your trust and your faith and your mind and put God in his rightful place and you stay focused on that, God will fill you up. God fills you up. You ever been chasing something, job, relationship, money, and you get it and you still feel empty? You still feel like something missing? Yeah, my phone finna die. But you ever feel like you just still empty? That's because you're not putting God in his proper place. You chasing the world. I always say you chasing the air and you chasing the wind and catching air. Because naturally, you can't, when you chasing the wind, what you catching? Nothing. So you constantly chasing after these idols, things that can't answer you, can't fill your soul up, can't make you happy. You chasing all this stuff and all these people, and you get it and you still feel empty. Because you ain't put God in his rightful place. Only God can truly satisfy your soul. Period. Argue with God, not me. Only God can truly satisfy your soul. Your joy, your peace, your love, it doesn't come from a thing or a person. It truly gets on my nerves when I see people say, a woman or a man, whatever, write a post, oh, you are my everything, or you are my peace, or you make me happy. You should be happy before you get in a relationship. First of all, you should already have happiness. You should already have peace. Your everything is God. No person or thing should ever be more than God to you. Ever. I don't care who it is. Not your mama, not your daddy, not your husband, not your wife, not your kids. Nobody should come before God. Nobody. So start putting God in his rightful place. Keep him in his rightful place. That'll help you to not idolize other things. Only God is going to satisfy you completely and satisfy that thirst that you have deep down inside. Only God can do that. Then I want you to learn how to practice contentment. Learn how to be content in where you are. We get into this space of chasing things because we want more. Again, ain't nothing wrong with going after more, right? But we learning how to put God in his right place. We learning how to minimize the idols and put God as the head. So learning how to be contentment, right, is being appreciative in where you are with what you have. So you're not constantly chasing after something in someone else that can't fill you up anyway. Learn to be content in what you have, with what you have. The Bible says when you are happy with the little, I don't know if that's a scripture. I'm thinking it is. Happy with the little, God will bless you with more. Learn to be content with what you got. And then, y'all, learn to enjoy life. You might not like your job, but learn to enjoy it. Don't focus on the negative of it. Focus on the positives. And guess what? If you can't find something positive, guess what you can do? Focus on God. Because God is always positive. You might not like the food. You want to lose weight, right? But you might not like the food that you got to eat. But focus on the positives. Learn to enjoy life. This goes with contentment. Being grateful in where you are. Enjoy life. Stop complaining so much. God does not reward complaining. If you go to Genesis and read it, you'll see the Israelites stayed in the wilderness for years because they complained. They griped. Stop complaining so much. Enjoy life. If you don't like where you are, get up and do something different. You are not a tree. You ain't got roots in the ground where you got to stay where you at. You don't like it? Do something else so that you can start liking it, so that you can enjoy it, so that you got a reason to enjoy life. You don't like your job? Go get another one. You ain't obligated to stay at that one. You don't like your body? Stop doing the things you're doing to it to make it continue to be the way that it is. Eat different. Work out. Do something else. You don't have to stay where you at. You choose to. So stop with the excuses. Sorry, y'all. Learn to enjoy life. I'm sorry. Learn to enjoy life and be content in where you are. When you do that and you put God first, then you start to, you're not looking for happiness somewhere else. You're not looking for something or someone to fill you up. You enjoying where you are. You content in where God got you. Yes, you desire more. Yes, you going after it. Hey, boo. Yes, you going after it. But you ain't idolizing it. Okay? I got 4% on my phone. And my computer charged, so y'all good. But I miss you too, Grace. But girl, see, I can't even talk to her because see, look at the devil. Distractions trying to get me to complain because I ain't gonna even talk about it. But anyway, y'all listen. I just gave you some good information on how to stop idolizing and putting things and people before God. If you didn't catch it from the beginning, go back and watch it. It's on my YouTube. It'll be on my YouTube channel. I'm going to stop putting them on Instagram. I'm going to stop saving my videos. TikTok, it's on my YouTube channel. Samantha J. West on YouTube. Samantha J. West. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube, make sure you go and subscribe so you don't miss anything. Okay? My goal is to start going live on YouTube at some point as well, but I got to get another device for that. So right now, here we are. Go and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to sow a seed into my ministry, so I'm talking fast, y'all, because I legit got 3% on my phone. So, but if you want to sow a seed in my ministry, it is appreciated. I am very grateful. Everything that you sow always goes right back into my ministry. I don't do anything. All I do is tithe off of what you give me. That's it. It goes right back into my ministry because building a ministry is hard. It's not easy and it is not free. Okay? So if you want to sow, if it touched your soul, I would greatly appreciate it. Hold on. I'm trying to pin the comment. So you all can sow if you want to sow. Again, I am grateful for everything that you sow. TikTok, if you want to sow, let me put my information here. It's good ground. I am trying to help your soul go to heaven. Like I can honestly say it's good ground, and I'm not just saying that because my name is Samantha, because I'm the one doing the video, right? All right, hold on, y'all. But definitely Samantha. What is my cash out? Samantha J. West, and then my Zelle is Samantha. I don't know. 10@gmail.com. Okay. All right. So if y'all want to sow, again, I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate every seed that has been sown into my ministry. I am very grateful. It's good ground. I promise you, I'm not doing nothing with your money besides giving it right back to God and helping him continue to build the kingdom, helping him save souls. That's just my ultimate goal, is to save souls. And that's what I'm here for. Every week I'm here. Every Wednesday, 6:30 Central Standard Time. I'm here. I'll be going live more on TikTok, so y'all just work with me. I'm building up the platform, building up my live. I need to post more, but that's a whole nother story. But anyway, TikTok, It's been real. I love y'all for life. I will see y'all next week. Alrighty. All right, Instagram. So we got 3%. If y'all got questions, get them in right now. Because I'm not going to get my charger. If once I walk away from this phone, guess what? I'm going to bed. So, who got a question? All right, let me close out TikTok. Anybody know how to save like lives on TikTok? I don't know. Anyway, make sure you go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, and turn your post notifications on so you always know when I posted something new. If you want to sow into the ministry, again, it's pinned right there. Everything you sow, it always goes right back to God, and I'm just grateful. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. So, if y'all don't have no questions, we at 2%. So I don't have much time. I don't have much juice to stay on here. But I love you guys forever, always. Mwah. I will be back on Wednesday next week, 6:30 Central Standard Time. Y'all stick with me. We going up. Let's get it. I'll see y'all.